folks! So, what does it mean to be a virgin? The dictionary definition of a virgin is someone who has never had sexual intercourse. But what does this actually mean? Like, what is sexual intercourse? It can mean something different to a lot of different people. Arguably, traditionally, it's meant penetrative sex, normally with a vagina and a penis. But that's pretty heteronormative and also doesn't cover the range of sexual experiences someone could have. After all, penetration isn't needed to bring someone to an orgasm. And lots of the time people will colloquially use sex to refer to oral sex or clitoral stimulation or anything else. It's also pretty useless as a definition when it comes to non-straight people, particularly cis lesbians who could never like to have penetrative sex but still be having sex every single night, and yet by the penetrative sex definition would still be a virgin. Also, with technology, people in long-distance relationships can be interacting sexually and never have actually touched each other physically. If both of these people have never had face-to-face sex, are they still virgins? This is all basically why I consider virginity to be a social construct, because being able to define what counts as sex is different for lots of people. And if you look at sexual contact on a sliding scale from, say, pecks on the cheek to full-blown penetrative sex, where is the point where it stops being romantic or sensual contact and becomes sexual contact? Is it when genitals are involved? What about masturbation? Where does that fit in? So finding a definition in the 21st century for what counts as sexual intercourse, considering technology and considering LGBT people, is really tricky. Okay, social constructs are still constructs, they're still things, they still impact society and affect how we view the world, and they still affect how you view yourself, whether you consider yourself a virgin or not. And there is a whole bunch of baggage associated with being a virgin. For women particularly, there are implications of purity, there are indications of being cleaner or more innocent or whatever else. And there's a double standard for what age it's acceptable for a man to lose his virginity over a woman, and often it seemed that if a man's fooled around before he's got married, that's more acceptable than if a woman has. The sexism also appears in the idea that virginity is a biological thing rather than a social thing. So people look at the hymen and argue that it's popped or broken when someone first has sex. This doesn't make sense. Obviously it can't be a thin wall covering everything, or how would you menstruate, but also it plays into the idea that a woman is somehow broken, damaged, or irreversibly changed the first time they have sex. I'm not a biologist or a sexologist, and my understanding of the hymen is pretty bare bones. So I'm going to leave some links in the description for if you want to understand that side of the whole virginity as a social construct argument a little better. I think the thing is though, that even though virginity is made up by society, we still put value on it, and that still means that you can experience shame for being a virgin or shame for not being a virgin, and those feelings are still valid and they still suck. I think the thing that people need to remember is that you can lose your virginity in your teenage years, or you can lose it when you're in your late 40s, or you can never lose it, and that is 100% fine. I think what else people need to remember is that virgin or not a virgin is a self-identifier in many ways, and if one person considers themselves no longer a virgin because they've, say, performed oral, whereas someone else would say that they're still a virgin until they've had penetrative sex, that label is up to them and it's not for you to dispute it. I think there's a fear of having sex for the first time that's made more intense by the fact you are losing your label of virgin, and I think that's the damaging bit of virginity as a construct, along with the shame and the double standards and all that. I think it's the fact that it makes people scared to have sexual experiences, and it really shouldn't be a factor in whether or not you choose to have sex. And that's all I have to say. Bye!